and you can have your say.
Got it?
If you insist.
You are charged with the murder of Faith and Lily, which Georgie carried out on your order, inciting violence against various members of the Fabletown community, including the attempted murder of Sheriff Bigby Wolf.
Twice.
A misunderstanding.
Aiding and providing monetary support for the
actually,
forced
you did
prostitution
shoot.
at the Pudding and Pie. Additionally, you are charged with multiple counts of fraud, extortion, racketeering, and the illegal possession and sale of magical artifacts.
And for being a condescending prick.
I'm sorry, I just had to add that in.
First of all, I had nothing to do with Faith and Lily, so you can strike that one from your little record book.
Bullshit! Like
Fuck
hell
you.
Stop the charade. We know you're involved.
Come on, it's obvious.
I know you're responsible. You've been behind all of this from the beginning, so cut the shit.
We all know who you are. We know what you've done.
Just give it up already.
The Crooked Man has committed crimes against this government, and most importantly, its citizens. These charges, if proven, are enough to justify death, upon which your body will be committed to the witching
Where
hole.
it fucking belongs.
That's
So
right.
let's get
But
on
we
with it
promised
then.
you a chance to defend yourself, and I won't rob you of that right.
But we can still
This
decide,
isn't
no matter
justice.
how much evidence he gives
If
us,
we're
we can
ever
still
going
decide
to pull
to,
ourselves
you
together
know,
and make
find
something of
guilty.
this town. We have to start doing things correctly. No more snap judgments, no more secrets. We are going to treat everyone fairly, even when they don't deserve it.
This is ridiculous.
You have the floor.
You even look like a mob boss. You had the
Thank
gold
you, Miss
chain.
White. You've all met Georgie. I don't have to tell you what kind of person he was. He was a total scoundrel, lacking in any sort of moral fiber. I hired him as a favor to his family, you see. A promise kept to a dying mother.
Oh,
Are you gonna
jeez.
get to your point or what?
Really?
Georgie was working for me, yes. But he was not acting on my behalf when he killed those women. It was his business. And for whatever reason, I'm sure only he could understand, he murdered 2 of his most faithful employees. I had nothing to do with it.
Tell
This
the
is such
fucking
bullshit.
truth for
He's
once.
always been a bit of a powder keg.
Georgie seemed pretty convinced he didn't have a say in the matter.
He clearly misunderstood my intention.
Really?
I would never authorize such an act.
Any of you actually believe this bullshit?
Holly, please.
Tell me,
Nope.
Rigby, when you finally showed up at my door last night, wasn't I more than helpful? I answered your questions. I was willing to cooperate.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, and your goons attacked me. Did you forget that part?
They get a bit carried away sometimes, it's true. Loyal to the
And
end.
you ran away instead of
They do it
stopping
because
them.
They want to protect me, as I protected them. You understand wanting to protect what you care about, don't you? You'd do anything. You might even give up an innocent man, just to save someone.
I really hope you're going somewhere with this.
I see you want to cut right to the point. I can appreciate that. Let me explain this to you. My employees are just that, hired help. I see some of them are here among you. They are not my slaves. They are all free to make their own decisions, as Georgie was.
What about Lily? She wasn't free. She wasn't given a choice. Do you really think she wanted... that any of those girls wanted their lives like that?
I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry that your sister asked me for help, and I'm sorry that I decided against my better judgment to give her a distasteful job.
Right, and you kept them in debt so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. That's what you did to us. How you kept us all
You
in
forget
line.
it was not me who put you in that position. You all act like I'm some kind of tyrant. When your government abandoned you, left you poor and helpless, sniveling on street corners, I was there to look out for you.
Yes, but
Wasn't I?
Crane was the one who let this town go to the fucking dogs. The guy who was in your pocket, remember?
Really? What about Auntie Greenleaf? Her story is not uncommon. She left everything she had back in the homelands. Everything that mattered in any way. With nowhere else to turn, she came to me for help. And what did I do for you?
You got my tree back.
I got her tree back. And in turn, we used her magic to help poor Faples get glamours. Because I helped her, she was able to
That
make a
was
living,
illegal?
provide for
Or
herself.
no, wait, it wasn't.
And what did they do?
She wanted my tree destroyed, but Bigby refused.
What?
You were gonna burn her tree? Snow, why would you want that?
Is that true? I know what you're doing. It's not gonna work. You can't manipulate us or these people. We're not here to talk
Oh,
about
we're
this.
not?
Bigby just
This
means
is
that-
important, and I'm glad it's being talked about.
You know why I asked him to destroy your tree. You were working with Crane and the Crooked Man.
It wasn't her fault.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. You hated Crane, and you hated him for wanting to fuck you, and you being too soft to notice what he'd do to get it. It had nothing to do with the Crooked Man.
We've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. But believe me, I truly want what's best for this town. And that may not always be clear right away. But I want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. And so does the sheriff.
Yeah, right.
I can't promise you perfection. No one can. But I can promise to always have your best interests at heart.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but we've been doing all this to protect you. We're trying to stop people like him.
The Crooked Man's been exploiting you. Exploiting your hope for a better life. You would go to him for help, and he would take that weakness and add it to his strength. And if things didn't fall exactly his way, someone would die.
I'm gonna
took
bring
Faith
something
and
deep.
Lily
Just
from
watch.
While we can never get them back, we can certainly punish who's responsible.
They're right.
You're all still afraid of him, even now. But you needn't be. His contamination of this
Bluebeard, I
town
know you're on
is
my side.
over, and those girls will
There you go,
have their
Bluebeard.
justice.
We're all on there. They're on my side.
Very good.
Oh
very
god,
good.
he's gonna do the
It's a sentiment
manipulative.
sure
Wow, like,
appreciate
well
your response.
done.
But it doesn't disguise the fact that these accusations are completely unfounded. The sheriff simply doesn't have a particle of evidence linking me to the
Georgie
murders.
was working for you. Bigby got a
A
confession that...
confession that nobody heard. Now, I'm no barrister, but I think such a statement would carry more weight if Bigby weren't the only one to whom George
Maybe you guys
spoke.
could throw him down the well without
Especially
anyone knowing.
history.
Shh. No
What are you
one will
talking
miss him.
about?
Snow?
And what about your history? All you've done to this fucking town?
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Maybe he's... I mean, this doesn't feel right, how we're doing this. I just
Of
need-
course it's right. This man tormented all of you for profit.
Thank you, Bluebeard.
Georgie
Let me
killed
just
him.
make sure I understand.
I like Bluebeard. He's
You're
actually
trying
kind
to
of cool.
say that I'm responsible for what Georgie did because he was working for me at the time. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Yes, you're responsible.
If I'm to blame for Georgie's mistakes,
It was your
shouldn't Miss
big
White be
organized
accountable for
crime.
Bigby's actions as well.
Like what?
How about the way he treated poor Tweedledee when he was in your custody? He was beaten to mashed apples while under your
She
watch.
was
Under my
considered
watch.
dead.
Maybe he's right.
Did you
No,
think
it was
we'd
under
all just
Crane's.
let that go?
You can't be serious.
Snow had nothing to do with it. We all thought she was dead.
Besides, Crane was
There you
still
go.
deputy mayor when that happened. Right before you decided to kill him.
Yeah.
It was for his own protection. Oh, you're right.
Ah.
Crane was in charge. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
That's enough.
So, you won't answer for your employees' behavior, but I must perish for
This
mine.
is completely different.
I
We all...
did not order those two girls dead. It simply never happened. Georgie killed Faith and Lily.
Well, your
End of
goons
story.
tried to kill me,
They
including
want to
Bloody
scapegoat
Mary,
me for
and you
their
attempted to
own
murder a
terrible
cop.
acts.
I'm pretty sure that's
They
enough to get you
refuse to
killed or
answer
put in
for
prison
their
for
own
life.
crimes.
Right.
Oh, please.
This isn't the point.
We'll deal with them after we deal with you.
Listen, I
The
know...
laws apply when we need them.
That's
I
not
mean, a
true.
certain level of privilege should be afforded to...
To who?
This is how it's always been.
Yes,